Hey everybody, I wanted to do a quick little video this morning because I've had some people ask me about the progress on my back and my back surgery. So I wanted to just touch on that kind of quick. Excuse me. I'm doing kind of a tight shot here because I work from home. I started working from home before COVID. And my office is just a mess. I have monitors and phones, and then I have my Mercari Poshmark stuff hanging back there behind me. So it's kind of a mess. I look forward to a couple of weeks from now when I no longer work from home and I've retired, so that I can get all these monitors and phones off my desk and get my office in better organized form so it'll look nice. But anyway, until then, I've just got a kind of little tight shot here. Wanted to just go over what's going on with my back. Briefly, about a year and a half ago, February of 19, I had a spinal fusion because of my L4, L5, had a lot of pain, couldn't walk. I thought initially that I had sciatica, but it never went away, and I found out it wasn't sciatica at all. So I had the surgery to do the fusion of the L4, L5. The surgery went well, and I started going through my recovery, which was actually going pretty good. Had a lot of walking to do and so forth. Went back to work part-time, gradually building my stamina up to where I could go full-time. But I was still having a lot of pain, and I had to ice my back at work and take pain meds. That wasn't really where I wanted to be, but the doctor kept telling me, no, you're fine, you're doing fine. And so a few months went by. I was working pretty much full-time, but in pain. And then one day I was shopping at Marshall's, flipping through, looking at some clothes, and my phone rings, and I look at it, and it's my doctor's office, my back doctor, the surgeon. Excuse me. So there I am at Marshall's. I'm like, hey, what's up? And they said, oh, we just want to let you know that your doctor is retiring, and we are going to refer you to another doctor. And I said, oh, when is he retiring? And they said, well, actually, he already has. Anyway, I went to see the other doctor. Now, this doctor looked at my reports, my everything, my tests and my scans. And he said, well, you're still having pain. I said, yeah. He said, did the doctor send you to physical therapy? And I said, no. He gave me a sheet of exercises to do. And then he said, well, did he send you to a pain management doctor? And I said, no. And he said, well, I'm going to send you to physical therapy and to a pain management doctor. So, started physical therapy. PT did not go really well for me because my back was hurting at this point so bad that I couldn't do the exercises. So I spent the majority of my time in physical therapy either being iced. Sometimes they would put heat, and then one time they did actually put me on a TENS unit, and that helped, but that was all I was doing. They didn't want to exercise me because it was hurting so bad, and the day after my physical therapy, I could hardly walk. So not what I wanted out of physical therapy. So I went to the pain management doctor, and I explained to him that I couldn't do the physical therapy, and he looked at my scans, he looks at my tests, and he said, you have failed back syndrome, basically, which means my surgery didn't work. Well, it worked for the L4, L5, but what it did is it put the load on my hips, and now I was having SI joint syndrome, which is the joints right there at your hips. And he said, yeah, that's why you're having pain now in your hips. And so I said, well, what do we do? I really don't want any more surgery. And he, at that point, recommended some herbal medications, including CBD oil, which really none of the herbal medications did much for me. So I went back, and he said, let's give you some shots in your hips. And I said, okay. Um, I don't know what medications were in the shots, so I'm sorry, I don't remember what they were. But it doesn't matter. I went, had the shots in both hips. And the procedure went really well. It didn't hurt. And actually, the next day I felt pretty good. I was walking around. I felt pretty good for about a week to 10 days. And then the pain came back, and it came back pretty good. But just the left hip. My right hip was still feeling good, so I went back to the pain management doctor, and he said, well, let's switch up the medication we put in there a little bit and do another shot just in the left hip. And now, I had had such a good time and an easy time with that first shot. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. But this time, I don't know if it was just the way he did it. I don't know if it was the medication that they switched around, but it really hurt. It hurt real bad this time. And I'm laying there on the table. I mean, you have to lay face down so they can get to your back. And I'm laying there and I'm just moaning. And they're like, it's okay, hang in there, we're almost done. But then I started feeling really sick to my stomach. And I remember when they got me off the table after the procedure was done, I just remember looking at them and saying, I don't feel good. And down I went. They tell me that my blood pressure and my pulse basically bottomed out. They crashed on me, and so of course I crashed right along with it and went to the floor, passed out. They were doing my vital signs every 5 minutes until I stabilized. And it's never a good thing when the nurse looks at you and goes, oh, I'm so glad you're talking to me. You had me really scared there for a minute. That's not a good thing. Anyway, so that is what happened. But however, I will say the pain went away. And I was pain-free for months. In fact, it wasn't until June of 2020, lovely 2020, I started feeling a little discomfort in my back, like a little pinch here and there. And I just kind of blamed it on, well, between working from home and the quarantine, I'm not moving around enough. Also, you know, I put some weight on that quarantine 15. And I'm like, you know, it's probably because I'm not moving around enough. I put on a little extra weight, so that's what the issue is. So, you know, that's the way I went for a little while. And then Florida opened up some places and I was able to start moving around and go shopping. They opened up the theme parks again, which I love. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to just go to the theme parks and go to the resorts. So I started doing that, and the pain has been increasing since. And in fact, I went to Disney and I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk around. My husband actually had to rent a wheelchair for me so that I could make it through the park. I mean, I couldn't. I was miserable and I was in so much pain. And the fact that the feels like temperature here in Florida these days is like 100 million didn't help. And then I went to Universal this past weekend. I had to get a wheelchair again. I just can't do it. So walking around is something that's very difficult for me now. I go to the grocery store, I hang on to the cart, and by the time I'm finished with my groceries, I'm in pain and I have to sit. And now I'm here at work and I'm sitting in front of a computer. I have a nice office chair, but I'm sitting in front of these monitors for 8 hours and it's killing my back. I'm back to icing it, the whole 9 yards. So I'm kind of like back to where I was a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and I'm not happy about that. So what to do? I don't know. I'm praying on it right now, and basically I'm hearing, wait, just wait, don't do anything yet. Of course, my options are going to be to go back to the pain management doctor, and they are probably going to say, well, let's run a bunch of tests, see where we're at, and then they're probably going to say, well, we could do some surgery, or we can give you the shots again. I don't want surgery, and I don't know if I want the shots. I mean, that was kind of scary for me. I'd never really felt like that before, so out of control of my body, and thinking that I was just gonna, I don't know. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to wait until after the first of the year, just because it's getting into that holiday season and we've still got a lot going on with COVID, and 2020's already been such a wonderful year. I don't want to add to it, but hopefully it doesn't get worse. If it stays the way it is, I can make some decisions. I am retiring in about 10 days, and I've already decided that once I'm retired, I'm going to be getting up in the mornings and walking, and see if maybe that helps. Hopefully it doesn't make it worse. So I'm going to do that. I do have a wheelchair that I can use, and I will use a wheelchair to go to the parks or anything that requires a lot of extra walking. I will tell you, I don't mind being in a wheelchair. If I have to use a wheelchair, I'm gonna rock the wheelchair. I will bling it out. I will put flags on. I mean, I'll do whatever. I'm not ashamed to be in a chair. I don't want to be in a chair. But because I don't want to be a gray-haired lady in a wheelchair, I colored my hair red again. So just a little mental thing for me. But anyway, so that's where I'm at. Kind of back to where I started. So those of you that have been praying for me, continue to pray for me. I can use all the prayer to help me find out what the good Lord wants me to do, what God wants me to do for this. In the meantime, I'm retiring, gonna exercise. I have my Mercari and my Poshmark closet going. I don't know why I haven't sold anything in about a week. I don't know. Go to my closet, take a look. Make me feel better. But that's where I'm at. So if you want to know what happens going forward, what decisions I make, and how I follow up with this, please hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell so that you know when I have posted another video. Hit the like button, thumbs up, and leave me some comments if you have questions, if you have suggestions, anything. Also though, all of my videos again are not going to be about my back. I just wanted to do this because people had been asking. So stay tuned for my other videos. They're going to be a little more uplifting, a little more fun. But for now, that's going on with the back. I hope that I have covered everything. If not, leave me a question. And, please follow with me, because I'm hoping that maybe what I have to say about my back will help others, and maybe others who have had problems like this with their back, maybe you can help me to make some decisions going forward. And hopefully next time I upload a video here, my office will look much better. But anyway, so that's it for now. Stay tuned, and I will talk to y'all later.